Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Lady D Psychic, and this will be my world predictions for 2026. So, 2026, even in numerology wise, it is a year number one. So, no, I've seen a lot of people saying it's about new beginnings, fresh starts, but one is also war energy as well. So, I'm not really into numerology. That's not my thing, but I do know with that it is about new beginnings. But the downside of it is war energy too. So, but I prefer the planets because I like astrology. So you have a lot of shifts happening with the planets for this year, and so this year and next year there's going to be a big shift. So what we've got in this coming into 2026 with the planets, I've got a list here of all what's happening sort of throughout the year, and then I've got some notes so I can tell you what's going on. The biggest thing that's going to happen in February 20th, which we have a conjunction of Neptune and Saturn, and that will be in Aries. So the last couple of years, Saturn has been going through Pisces. So we're seeing sort of problems. I know in the spiritual world, it's been the issues, but also it has been sort of like spiritual wars as well. Problems with mental health, problems with just common sense as such, and also with that Neptune also being Pisces, they've just made things be sort of like, I feel like, just not common sense. Very left leaning in terms of the way how things have been. So those two planets will be making its way into Aries. So Neptune will be there a lot longer than Saturn, but they are going to conjunct on the 20th of February. It's the day after my birthday. So we do have that. I'll just go through when everything's happening, and then I'll go through more about my notes, what that means for you as well. So we've also got so just before that conjunction, so it's actually for me, it'll be the 21st of February. On the 17th, we've got an eclipse in Aquarius just before that as well. So in January is when the Neptune will be moving into Aries, and then it will wait for Saturn to join it the next month. So it'll be the Valentine's Day, the 14th, is when Saturn will be then moving into Aries. And then in April, so April will be a big month of the year because we have a lot of planets that will be in Mars and they'll be conjuncting each other. So unfortunately with Aries, you've just been dealing with Chiron through your house or through your star sign, and now you're going to have for most of the year you're going to have Chiron, Saturn, and Neptune all going through your sign, especially if you're towards the end of Aries or if your birthday is more the beginning of Aries. You're going to feel these energies more. But as we go through April, we are going to have Mars, which will be in home sign Aries. And then we're going to have on the 15th Mercury also in that sign, and they're going to start conjuncting the other planets in there. So I feel like April is going to be a bit hectic. We've then also got in April, that's when Uranus moves from Taurus into Gemini. And then we get to June, which we're going to get Chiron, which will be moving from Aries to Taurus. Also in late June, we're going to have Jupiter move from Cancer to Leo. Then in September, we're going to have the Chiron move back into Aries. And then we've got also late July, we've got the nodes are going to be shifting as well. So they'll be going north node into Aquarius, the south node into Leo. So now just going to more of the actual meanings of all these stuff, because a lot of you will be like, oh my God, what does that mean? So we'll start first with the node. So the new lunar nodes is the south node and the north node. The north node is like in astrology, it's your life lesson. So if it's in your birth chart, that would be where your life lesson is. And when it's a transit, it's like more sort of where you're heading. The south node is what we're sort of moving away from in the chart. The south node can indicate like past lives. So, it will be in late July when these shifts are going to be happening, and they'll be there till around January 2028. So The North Node in Aquarius is going to be growth through community, collaboration, innovation, groups, humanitarian work, and the future focused ideas. So that's where we're all going to be going. So expect, as especially with some of the other transits we got this year, or what we're sort of going through, expect a lot of advances with technology and AI. So especially over the next 18 months. Um, with the South Node there, it's about releasing ego driven roles, needing the spotlight, or doing everything, or doing everything alone, moving away from me towards we, because when they're Leo, it's all about me. So we're moving away from that. It's more about we and like so communities as well. So those were the nodes, and then we've got here. So we're saying that, but then we're going to have Jupiter, which I'll get to later on, which will be moving into Leo, which is going to be quite positive for Leo. So even though it's sort of saying that, part of that won't necessarily be the Jupiter will take more the effect than the South Node in Leo, especially for about a year with Jupiter's in that sign. So Neptune in Aries. So, as I said, it's been a very chaotic with Neptune being in Pisces. I am very glad that it's moving out of Pisces and going into Aries, a different sign. But with this brings a whole lot of now different things. So Neptune hasn't been in Aries since 1861, and it was there till 1875. So it was a civil war era globally. This is where we had a lot of uprising. So this was like uncharted territory for the people that were alive. None of us were alive back then. So Neptune, it does. I see it as a dissolve, but it's also spirituality, illusion, ideas, faith, and dreams. That's also going to be a bit of a foggy planet as well. Then we've got in Aries, it's about action, fire, identity, war, leadership, and beginnings. So that's why I said we got it's a lot of war energy. Because I said to you that number one is also war, because even with the astrology, it's indicating still war energy coming up here. So, collective themes, what will happen? Look, I kind of feel like there is going to be, and I have in my notes of my predictions that I do feel like there's going to be assassination attempts on world leaders. The focus will be on leaders. And yeah, Aries, I'm really sorry. You're going to go through, especially this year and until Chiron moves out, it can be quite intense. So it's more if you're beginning of Aries and at the end, because the end people are going to deal with Chiron, and then you've got in the beginning they're dealing with the Saturn and Neptune. As Saturn moves through the signs and it goes over your sun, then you will feel Saturn then. But the people at the beginning of Aries, you're going to have conjuncts Neptune and Saturn over your sun, which can be quite, I feel like it's going to feel quite uncomfortable, irritable. Might seem like you're going crazy, but just realize it's just the transit. It will only affect you February. By March, Saturn would have moved on, and you're just going to be dealing with the Neptune over the Sun for you. But and we're talking about the general world or people. Okay, so we are looking at could be like spiritual warriors could come up here. So people fighting for beliefs, not just power. So we got also here, there could be a lot of like different conflicts coming up. So wars, movements driven by belief systems, identity confusion. So redefine of who we are, because Aries also rules the first house, which is like your body. New forms of spirituality that are bold, embodied, and direct. Now, I feel like with these energies, there is going to be a clearing in the spiritual community. There is like when you go to fairs and around, like everybody wants to be a reader, and a lot of them will just be like tarot card readers, but they all want to be in that. And I do feel like there's going to be a bit of a clearing out of people in the industry. It's just going to be, and the way the love and light, as I've spoken in my podcast many of times, is definitely going to be changing. So we got here danger of like people being like fantasizing, like sort of false prophets, savior complexes. So people we may see people coming up and try to push their beliefs, and it could be there would be like crazy beliefs as well. As I said, as well, assassination attempts. As like when we went back, or when I went back, Queen Victoria was sort of ruling around this time, and there was assassination attempts on her. Also, with the Civil War in America, we had there's been attempts also on Abraham Lincoln, like back in when you go back. So I do feel like there could be a dissolve in some kind of leadership, or if there is like Civil War energy, it could be about like certain leadership issues as well. So I expect there could be a big change in over this time of leadership and how we view leaders. Now, and with the Aries, because the Aries also in Saturn in Aries, so problems with leadership as well, mixed with this too. So it's about take responsibility for the actions, with the Saturn in Aries, growth up around leadership, anger, courage, autonomy. So no more impulsive behaviors without consequences. So there could be some new laws around conflict, weapons and leadership, accountability for aggressive behavior, collapse of weak leaders who act without wisdom. So there is going to be a change in how we view leaders around the world, and there'll be problems with leaders around the world with Saturn in Aries. Now, Saturn's only going to be there till about 2028, I believe, but I could be, yep, so it'll be there to 2028. So it'll be there a couple of years. Neptune is that longer planet that's going to be there. As I said, I feel like it's going to be problems with leaderships and aggression and war as well. Don't mean to scare or fearmonger, it's just what the planets are and where they're heading into and what that sign represents. So, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, so it is happening. So for me, it'll be 21st. For you guys over the world, it'll be 20th. And it's 0 degrees Aries. So this is going to be a main event of the year. They sort of fused kind of together in 25, and now we're there sort of together for a while, and I just feel like the energy was craziness. So it will sort of just happened, and then Saturn will move on. So here we go. So this is like a world reset with this. It's an end of an old spiritual and political the way we view things, the cycle, the birth of something new entirely. So what could happen with this? It could be a collapse of institutions built on illusion or corruption, which has been happening around the world. Disillusionment, I can't say the word, delusion, with leaders, rebellions, religions and systems, radical new movements being born overnight. Put structure around faith or watch it fall apart. New definitions of courage, leadership and peace. So this is not a soft spirituality. It is going to be tested spirituality. So as I said, the love and light, the whole manifesting, vision boarding, crystals, that stuff is over when it comes to spiritual stuff. Now it's more about actually putting in the work, doing it. But that's just for spirituality, because it will affect that, because Neptune does rule spirituality. But we're also in Aries, which is about war, leaders, identity. Okay. So the last conjunction that was done, the conjunction happened, was in 1989. Okay. So some of the things that happened in 1989 with this conjunction, it was the fall of the Berlin Wall, the end of the Cold War. It was also a collapse of belief systems that no longer worked. So this one is going to be even bigger because it's happening in 0 degrees Aries. So it's a cosmic point here, because Aries is the first star sign and it's at 0 degrees. So it is going to be a lot bigger than the last conjunction. So the shadow side of this could be extremism, justified as spirituality. War driven by beliefs, not resources. Leaders like claiming divine or moral authority. Confusion, fear if people refuse to let old identities die. So the higher expression of this can be courageous spiritual leadership, action-based compassion, new solid communities, people standing for the truth even when it costs them. Okay. Now, we've also got Chiron, which is going to be moving out of Aries into Taurus for a little bit, for a few months, and then next year it will be there for. I have this in my notes. So we'll re-enter Taurus permanently in February 2027, so next year, and it will stay there until 2033. Okay, so Chiron in Taurus. Okay, so it's in June when it comes in. So Chiron first enters Taurus. Yep. So it's which goes back in September. So we're looking from June to September when this happens. Okay. Just going through my notes. Okay, so when this transit exposes, it's going to expose things. Taurus is about money. It is about how we feel, what we value, how we feel stable, comfortable, secure. So it is going to be affecting all these things. So around the world, I do expect it to affect stock markets, wealth, I guess how we view wealth, what we sort of value as people, people not being able to be able to afford things. This could be a change in the money system as well with this. So this could be wounds around money, income security, deep issues of self-worth and self-value, fear of instability, housing, food resources, healing the body, nervous system, and stress held physically. So for the world, in short, 2026, so this might show financial systems like feeling shaky or unfair, collective anxiety around the cost of living, I cannot speak sometimes, conversations about what is truly valued, a push towards sustainability and embodied living. So if you think we can't spiritually bypass survival anymore. So as I said, the world is going to be changing. It's just no more like, let's live it up. We've actually got to do things to make things happen. So this is going to be a bit of a wake-up call for people, I think. And I think we sort of will feel it, but then it will go back. But I like to say when a planet goes into a sign and goes back, to me, it's like it's got one foot in one side and one foot in the other side. Because I feel like the energy is kind of still, it's going to start and it will still kind of be there, but it will linger. It won't be as intense when it moves back in September, which goes back into Aries. As I've always been saying, every year with Chiron being in Aries, is that there's been no leaders that I feel like everyone likes. Even Donald Trump. Yeah, a lot of people like him, but there's a lot of people that don't like him. In Australia, we've got a weak leader. Around the world, England, weak leadership. So this is part of that Chiron, that pain with leaders. So a good thing that it's moving on, but now it's going to be really affecting on how we live and, our systems in play here. So, so the issues may arise in 2026 that won't be fully healed until 2027 onward. They say that Chiron heals. I personally haven't experienced how it heals, but people say it does. So it could. So you might hear themes of this isn't sustainable anymore. I keep giving without receiving. My worth is not. I'm tired. Like it's a struggle. So with that, the high expression of this will be learning to receive, rebuilding value systems. So more sort of going into like different types of healing, earnings in way aligned with self-worth, grounded spirituality, not floating away. So with that Chiron, now we're going to have, this is quite exciting, Uranus moving out of Taurus into Gemini. Now we've seen house prices go up and down like crazy. We've seen different odd things happening with our systems, and it has created an unstable Earth with Uranus being in Taurus. Now saying that it is going to be moving into Gemini, completely different energy again. Gemini is an air sign, so Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, which is an air sign. So this is where we're going to get really interesting things come up. It's going to be a 7-year transit. So we'll be there until 2033. So what will happen with Gemini, with Uranus being in Gemini? So Gemini is about it's got this option here, but I say Gemini's being unusual, unexpected. That's the energy of it is. You don't know what you're going to get. It can be like an awakening. Okay, we can see it is going to cover technology and rebellion, Gemini communication, media, transport, education, information. Even how we do, like how we're social could even change, and we might even there could be more online platforms coming up with this. Media, social media may even change, new formats, collapse of old ones, how we think and learn, AI, fast education, alternative schooling, so new way of learning. And I've actually got that in my predictions. AI is just going to be hectic this year. Free speech battles, so truth versus misinformation. Transport and tech, travel tech, so drones, air travel, mobility could be changing as well. And I think too, you'll see different partnerships emerge, which are going to be unexpected and maybe you didn't even think were possible. Maybe different countries, different leaders, just even with different people coming out. So AI language, so translation, voice, writing, content, creation. So this is our information revolution phase. We also, the last time that Uranus was in Gemini, it also was war energy as well. So we've got a lot of transits that's coming into play this year, which indicates war. We've got Pluto in Aquarius, which is about rising and changes with technology, AI, because Aquarius is also ruled by that. That's why Aquarius rules Uranus. Uranus into Gemini, and that was World War II energy. We've got that Neptune into Aries, which again, so we've just got a lot of it's gonna be it's exciting times ahead. So the last time Uranus was in Gemini was at 1941 to 1949. So it's World War II information warfare. So radio and mass communication exploded. So propaganda versus truth became critical. Okay. Also, new ways of thinking changed the world. Also, too, Gemini, Uranus in Gemini, that's when women also did more into like schooling and the colleges. Like women could also go to school, but they got to start to learn different things as well. And I think it was colleges, they got to go to college as well. So this time it's more going, I feel like it's more digital focused, instant and global. So the shadow side of this transit, information overload, nervous system burnouts, lies spreading faster than the truth, mental anxiety and division. So got here fragmented attention, so higher expression. We've also got here, so liberated way that we think. It's going to be different thinking, truth telling, new voice rising up, or new voices rising up. We've got here deceleration. The media is definitely going to be changing with this transit. So teaching, speaking, writing as tools of awakening. So how this links to the bigger picture. So Uranus in Gemini, so it happens alongside the Saturn and Neptune in Aries. I said redefining leadership and identity. Chiron in the Taurus, healing and wounds. So they're all coming together. Translation. So definitely we could bring up some new leadership coming up this year or over over this while. New information systems, new value systems as well. So now let's get for the positive. Jupiter happening, leaving Cancer and is going into Leo. Now I did say last year, and I was correct, that Jupiter, other astrologers that I'd seen were saying Jupiter in Cancer was going to make it more affordable for you to buy houses. Well, that was kind of correct, but not. And I said the house prices would go up, and they went up. Now that it's going to be moving into Leo, I kind of feel like house prices, it may stabilize this year. They may go down a bit, but stabilize. I feel like next year, once Chiron moves actually into Taurus for that long stint, that's when I feel like house prices are going to come down, because it is going to be hard for you to buy. The cost of living it will affect the cost of living and money and the financial sector. So if you're going to be selling your house, I would be selling it before July, meaning sold before July, because otherwise you might be a little bit disappointed in what you're selling your house for. Now, Jupiter Jupiter is about luck. It's also expansion, growth, opportunities, but I say it's luck. Now we're going into Leo, so it's confidence, creativity, leadership, performance, and the heart. It's also children, because I feel like there's going to be a baby boom with having Jupiter in Leo. Okay. Now what's going to bring us a collective as well? So we've got here new leaders step into the spotlight. So this is a return of different courage and charisma. So you might see more people coming out there, speaking up, have courage, but it's going to be the sort of the year of the ego, really, because Leo's rules ego. So he'll coming out very confident, sort of even smug-like. So there could be a sense of coming into new leadership, because I do say I don't feel that Leo rules leadership, but I know a lot of people do say that. So it could be rise of performance, rise of performers, being more creative, influencers and speakers. So we might see more movies coming out that are actually more entertaining and sort of better than what we've seen in the past. People craving joy, meaning and authority, or being authentic. So it should be leadership based on the heart, not fear. Entertainment, art, celebration becomes medicine. So I kind of feel like it's about different relationships here connecting to, because the 5th house is about relationships. I do feel like with Jupiter in Leo, it's going to bring on a baby boom. Okay. So let's have a look. The shadow side of this is ego in being inflamed, like moving up here, power struggles, attention seeking leadership, drama for drama's sake. Now the higher we also got here could be also heart-led leadership, creative courage, inspired by being fully yourself, confidence without domination. But Leo's is all about the ego and about who we are. So if you're a Leo, you're going to have Jupiter come through your sign, and it's going to give you luck. It's going to be quite positive for you. So it's all a lot of things here about identity, about leadership, and about communication. So that's with the planets. It's already nearly going up half an hour with this video. So, okay, so what I'm going to do also, so I'm going to read you out what I got for my world predictions, but then I'm going to make shorter videos on different countries. I'm going to make them with Katrina, who's a numerologist, because I'm not a numbers person, I'm more planets. So we're going to do it together on different countries, and where she's going to put her knowledge in with the numbers, mixed in with the leaders and the countries. So we'll be doing one for Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, England, and then I might do one for European Union. Okay. Now, what I feel is coming up for 2026. Okay, money. Okay, I don't feel like I feel like the stock market is going to be, I feel like there's going to be 3 major falls for the stock market. I reckon it's going to be volatile. I don't feel like it's be good. I would not invest in stock markets. Um, I just kind of felt like there's 3 big falls that were going to happen. Stock that seems rock solid will fall. Okay. In saying that, if you go with Jupiter, what I felt like was going to be okay in stocks, anything that's sort of like creative, so like Disney Plus, TV, entertainment, I feel like will be actually quite good. Tech AI will also be good to invest in. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you're going to invest in these things, do it at your own pace. But that's where I felt like things may go up. And then I also got here blockchain unstable will crash. So I'm not good at it about how everything works, but that's what I just got. Gold and silver, I got big highs, but also got big lows. But I also got that there could be the rare minerals would also be increasing. So if you're going to invest raw minerals, I feel like that was going to go up. In saying that, I feel like there's going to be a new rare mineral found, and it could be like from a meteor, like from a rock. I got meteor, rock out of space. So meteor, there's going to be a mineral found from a sort of meteor that comes down, or from. It's like there's something that's going to be found. I don't usually get alien stuff in my predictions, but I did this time. So I got exposed like alien stuff like ET, but the government. So it's going to be supposed to be on mainstream news. Plus also the tech. So I feel like there's going to be like AI, like not AI tech, alien like technology going to be coming out as well. I got Bitcoin going up. I got here. So what with the economies? Okay, economy, so if like everything is unstable, don't trust the governments hiding the truth. So I've got here government, sort of Europe fall. I've got Germany fall, France, unrest, people not happy with leaders and they want them out. So I feel like there could be a lot of change in terms of the in those countries with the governments, with their leaders, and they want change. Now with the housing market, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of pressure on housing, on the housing market. And it was like I was seeing a house on stilts, and stilts were starting to collapse. They didn't collapse fully, but they were starting to collapse, and it was like under a lot of pressure. So I kind of felt like it was beginning of the end to do with the housing market. Got here a new way of learning, so it's about to start after July. I got here also, so after July, I got deflation happening. Now, deflation could be happening with like the housing. I've seen this before, and I see it again where money's coming out of houses. So it's like deflation to do with the housing market. So it's like down, but I kind of feel like the housing market's going to somehow stabilize. Got here, there's too much debt in the world, and there's a lot of unrest with that. I got here also not enough jobs for people. So the start of AI takeover. As I said before, I feel like 2027 is when you got to, but I feel like the start of this is going to be next year, and or 2026. I'm all recording this on the 1st of January, so I do feel like there's going to be a start of like, unemployment going up. I feel like people are going to start losing their jobs to do with AI. I know it scares people, and I know I get people come to me all the time saying, "Oh no, we'll work with AI." Even another reader that I know has said, "No, we'll work with AI." That is correct now, but AI can, once it gets perfected, it's going to be able to do what a lot of us do in our work. So now I do have some celebrity stuff in here. I don't have a lot. So I've got Taylor Swift Blame Game. I'm not sure what that's about though, but that's what I just heard. Again, I know I got this last year and nothing happened, but again, I got it again. So I got like Oprah in trouble, but it's to do with the court. Like she's going to court, but in trouble. I've got a draft in place for America. So I feel like America, you might be getting your draft in place. I know it's already there, ready to go, but actually may start. I've got here China intense over boundaries, game playing, and that's already started. So that's just, I know on news, I saw that even today about that. So I'm trying to get this out as quick as I can because things that I've said I'm getting is already sort of coming into effect here. But yeah, I do get that there is going to be issues with China. And I've always said China's the one with World War III. I've always seen that to be China, not Russia, not the other stuff that's happening at the moment. So I got here shortages on food and other items. So I got here shutdown on truths too. Called. Okay, oh, here we go. Shut down truths. Okay, also too, they've got unthinkable deals made with USA and Mexico. So I feel like there's going to be some deal that's going to be made with America and Mexico that you wouldn't think that they would make. I got here baby boom, which I've just said that with my Jupiter in going into Leo. So I got here, so I got men being asked to go to war. So I do feel like there's going to be some more stuff where men are going to be asked to go. Now I got here share doing a world tour, so resurgence comeback. But then I was also getting a lot of the older artists like Bette Midler, like Dolly Parton. So there could be a resurgence of more of the old artists coming back, and yeah, doing tours and things like that. Now got the crown going to William, so William might be stepping into power. I was going to check his chart, but then I didn't get time. But I'll do that when I do more of the England video with Katrina. So I've got Charles can't handle it anymore. I've got but his health is still failing, and I've got that he's got a lack of energy for Prince King Charles. Just call him Charles. Got here England tightening up laws about the immigration. We've got the Labour Party there is going to be put under pressure from the right wing party. So like the Nigel Farage party, I think they're going to put so much pressure on them that they are going to have to tighten up. I think they've already started with that, maybe, if I'm correct. Got here, so mass protests for the right side here coming up more, and I feel like it's going to happen around the world. So more like Australia, England, Europe, people sort of not happy. Got here hard to afford things. No luxury items. So I feel like there's going to be moving away from people buying a lot of like luxury items. So if you're someone that's buying a lot of like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, I feel like that we're moving away from that. Especially next year when we've got Chiron going to Taurus. I don't think people are going to be buying a lot of these luxury brands. Like I don't buy them. I know people that do, but I think we're going to be moving away from that. So cost of living going up, budget, people like looking for like budget cooking ideas. Now the NDIS that's in Australia, so I got that it's a bit of a scam, but scam is going to be found and it's going to be cracked down, and it's going to be about saving money. I got here Pauline Hanson. This is a thing for Australia as well. She's a politician here in Australia, and her popularity is increasing, which I got that right from last year. And I feel like she's going to go up another 30%. I feel like her party is going to be one to reckon with. I just see it going up. I got here state Labor. So this is about New South Wales Labor government. Because that's what I saw. Rotten tomatoes been thrown at him. So I feel like there's going to be a bit of a backlash to do with people with him. Got here Albo, so this is Australian again, Prime Minister, shut out by his own party, call for him to go. It gets louder for him to go, but he might stay. It's like I see him like that kid's toy. Like remember Noddy, that guy that can't, wobbly man that can't fall over. That's what I kind of see with Albo. But I also see there's a knife. They've all got the knives ready to stab him in the back. So, not good for him. And I do feel like they're going to have to tighten up for Australia. They'll have to tighten up immigration as well. I hear more floods, crops destroyed, and I got Australia. So I think we could be coming into a bit more flooding again. I got here rapid fire in the US, but in the south. I got here Italy extreme cold. I've got here like a bad sandstorm in the Middle East, like around Egypt. Like it's gonna be a really big bad sandstorm. I got World War III about to start. I got here Camilla, so Charles's wife, not well. Her health is going to be not the best this year. There's a delay in travel and a travel ban. I got that as well coming up for this year. I got in Japan, there's a volcano erupting in Japan. I've got here there could be a start of a new money system starting up or being ready or being discussed as well coming up here. I just got the world as being very unstable, and it could be a focus on health, like natural healings, and people moving away from the Western medical practices and going more to natural health. People even like, and I feel like it's about like even with cancer, I've had people going to look to more natural ways of healing cancer than going to chemo. So I feel like there's going to be too many problems coming up with chemo, and also with different vaccines, different things that they're using. Like now they're doing the weight loss. They're pushing in weight loss needles. I feel like okay, we're going to move away from that, and it's going to be more about healing, back to basics when it comes to medicine. As I'm not a doctor. Go back to, and I feel like the world's going to sort of go back to more sort of a common sense way of doing things. I don't think we're going to be having too much of that, the days. I think it's going to be back girl boy, not days. And I did get, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of more assassination attempts on world leaders too, coming up with that as well. So I always do a channel for this. I was going to do a card reading as well, but I'm getting to 40 minutes, so probably won't be doing. I won't do the card reading in this video. If you want a card reading, I can make a little one, a little video after. If you've joined me to this end. So let's give it a channel on 2026. So this year is going to be you for collective. For the collective will stand up and be proud of who they are. They will finally have the voice and the courage to speak up and to say who they are. There are going to be some proud moments for you all in 2026. For the sun will be blooming, the sky is going to be glistening. The sound of people, their energy is going to be bigger and louder than ever. There is going to be a war in its resurgence here. People's energy in the way they speak and they communicate is definitely going to be changing this year. For new platforms, new mobile apps is also going to be appearing. For people, what needing the information is at your fingertips. People, the way they see, where they do things is definitely going to change. The way that you go about your business will definitely change. The way that you're all going to do your work and your job and the way that you earn money will all be changing as well. For people aren't ready for these changes, and things are going to be happening super fast. For definitely, when we go into 2027, the world as you know it has definitely changed. For there are more things to come and more that we can tell you, but we can't let the cat out of the bag just yet. It's time for you all to stand up, be proud of who you are. Go forth, celebrate, live your life, be happy. For the bad things will come, and they will come fast, and they will come thick, and they will come heavy. But it's important that you all just enjoy yourselves and try the best that you can. So with that, I will leave this video here. So I won't do the card reading because I just think the video will be too long. And as I said, I will be doing smaller videos for different countries as well. So the first time we'll be doing Australia and New Zealand, and then as I said, we'll be doing Canada and other countries as well. If there's a celebrity you want me to do a chart reading on, or more, what I can get more for that certain celebrity, please put it down in the comment section, and I will get to that when I can. And thank you for your likes, your comments, and your shares. I hope that you've made it through to the end of this video, and I'll see you for my next video. So bye for now.